Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thank you so much for joining me today for a flip through for the month of March in my pocket-sized bullet journal. March has been unprecedented and surreal, and I hope you're all doing well. I'm continuing to make videos because it gives me a sense of comfort and provides me a sense of connection, and I hope for some of you, you get that from these videos too. Moving into the video, I am already in my April setup, which is this field note size Sojourner. It's a traveler's notebook in the caribou leather with a wraparound dark special brown pocket. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the feel of it. And in this front pocket here, I have a lotus flower sticker by Robyn, formerly Art Journal Girl and now Journal Rhapsody. Unfortunately, her shop is closed, but I had this from months ago and was really happy to be able to use it. So this is my bullet journal, my Hobonichi A6 plain notebook cut down to a pocket size. So I figured I would flip through and just show you how March has worked out for me. I just watercolored on this first page here. I tried to stamp, I made a mess of it, and I just found a sticker that went right on top and moved along. Here I have my focus, which was incorporating headspace meditation and some tasks that I wanted to work on. A few were completed and a few were migrated. I do my tip in here so I can cross off the days and see where I am in the calendar. And I love this idea. I saw Daksina do it and it just works out really, really well. I use this here as a kind of index. It just provides me with an overview of the month. I don't write every day, but I write often enough and just things that stuck out to me that day or any appointments that I had. Here too, I figured that the best way for me to keep track of my fund money budget was just to have it on a post-it that I could move around as needed. This month I went way over and I realized that during stressful times I apparently like to shop. So something that I'm aware of now and am giving myself grace for. I started using the Simply Gilded washi tape at the beginning of the month, the date washi, and the thin washi here to separate my tasks from my notes. I am adding more decoration than I have before, but it's still fairly minimal, in my opinion anyways. Sometimes I'll do the dash for notes, and I've also played around with trying to draw in little icons for myself. So a little TV if I'm watching something specific, a book for reading, an umbrella it was rainy, and if I'm cooking or baking something out of the ordinary, I like to note that too. It was my birthday and I had just a whole day with my mom, so I prettied that up with some stickers, which was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying using washi tape on the bottom still. It is getting a little bit thick and I can notice it if I'm writing down in this area, but for the most part, it's really manageable. Here I'm still going on with, a little plate and utensils for eating out and some happy mail. I like it. It's fun to do and it's simple. Some days, instead of doing notes at the bottom, I'll just do like a brief journal entry. I really, really like the flexibility of that. I'll include a picture occasionally. Actually, I think this is the first picture that I've put in my bullet journal. Usually I put pictures into my written journal, which is a Hobonichi A6, but this one just felt like it should be here and I love it. So here I've still been putting any kind of appointments or special events, any birthdays up to the right of the date. It just is kind of an unused space, so my eye tends to go there. Sometimes I'll use little functional stickers or boxes to help with that, and sometimes I just write it in. Depends. Here's another journal entry. A Happy Meal sticker from the Coffee Monsters Co. I watched Green Book, which I absolutely loved. It was different than I expected. It was funnier, and I just found it really heartwarming and a movie that filled me up, which is something that I'm definitely looking for during this time. Continuing on, this is actually funny. I found out by total accident that if I wet my finger a teeny bit and just rub over the part that I want to write on with my Sharpie, the Sharpie writes much, much better. I don't know if it's just kind of rubbing off a tiny bit of the film, because sometimes when I write with a Sharpie, it kind of breaks up, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I can, like, I don't know if you can tell in that 13 there, but it's kind of broken up and spotty. And so I had made a mistake and tried to rub it off with a different type of pen. And then when I wrote on it with the Sharpie, it came out so clean. So I don't know if you can see the difference, but it was a little hack, I guess, I accidentally stumbled upon. I was gifted this washi tape, and I love the colors of it. Like, the camels are beautiful, and I just like that kind of neutral brown and pink. That seems to be some repeating colors in my bullet journal. I think I always do the same washi on both pages. It's just easier for me that way. I don't know if you had a chance to check out my planner tag video or any of the other YouTubers who have done the planner tag, but this was just where I was brainstorming the questions for it. And I love having spreads like this in my journal. It was just kind of messy and all over the place, and this isn't the order that they ended up being in, but just a brainstorming page with some washi tape. That was a collaboration by Rowena at Sojourner and James Luke Burke for a meetup that they had. So I love having this page in here. It just reminds me of how fun it was to come up with the questions and to do the planner tag and learn some more about some of my favorite YouTubers, and just to meet some YouTubers that I hadn't come across before. So I do have a playlist if you want to check out any of those videos. And here I came up with 2 spreads, again, during this time of social distancing. I just have a list of movies that I'd like to watch and haven't gotten to. And I have a list here that I titled to organize, and it's basically things that I want to go through and declutter if and when I feel like it. I want to say I don't particularly think that this time at home needs to be used in any specific way. It's honestly such a challenging time for so many different reasons that I think it's really, really important for people to do what feels right to them and just to give themselves grace. I don't feel like I need to come out the other side of this, hopefully a better version of myself. And I'm not putting any pressure on myself to, declutter and organize and, make my space the best that it can be, or exercise and make myself the best that I can be. I plan to see what happens organically and go from there. This type of thing is great for me because I just like to have it listed out, and if there is a day where I'm like, hey, I really want to go through some stuff, let me check out the list and kind of see where I want to start, it's here for me. So I guess just be gentle with yourself, and there's no one way or right way to be doing anything during this time. Coming up on the end of March here, a couple of birthdays, a friend had a baby, so I was so happy to hear that. I was organizing some of my teacher books during this time, so I used this MT washi, which I love, with the bookshelves. Sometimes I'll stick sticky notes in here, and I don't always use washi as separation either. I just use the Hobonichi stencil, this kind of wavy line, and it works just as well. This hedgehog washi was a gift too, and it's just so stinking cute. I went for a walk last Sunday, and there was a beautiful double rainbow, and it just was so nice to see, you guys. Journaled here. And on the last day, I didn't have any tasks, so I just wrote down a bunch of notes. It's interesting for me to kind of go through and see the different ways that I've used this bullet journal throughout a month, because That's what I love most about bullet journals, is just how flexible they are. The only really parameters I have for myself is I am doing a day per page and planning ahead a week at a time, and beyond that, it's whatever I need it to be. So I like consistency. When I find something that works, I usually stick with it, but I also really, really appreciate the flexibility of being able to change it up as needed. I'll show you a little bit of what's going on for April. Today's just the 2nd, so not much, but I am trying something a little different. So this is a vellum that I've had for years and years. I don't think that it's made or sold anymore, unfortunately. I have a quote there for April. This is all shown in my April setup video. But what I am trying to do in April is I'm putting a little timeline here. I'm trying to work on establishing routines to some degree, or at least kind of having certain blocks of time where maybe if I do want to do something more task oriented, that's where I hope to do it. So I only set that up for 2 pages because I don't know if I'm going to like it. I have no idea if it's going to work for me or not, or going to be totally redundant. So I think the first half of April, I imagine, is going to be a bit of playing around and tweaking, and we'll see. I have this timeline here. I've been putting tasks and notes here, and then yesterday I felt like doing a little journaling, and I put that right at the bottom, and it was fine. I'm pretty good about staying in a contained writing space, and I like it that way. It kind of helps me to be concise. So it worked out really, really well. One of the things that I am playing around with is whether or not I want to write in the timeline the things that I would like to do at certain times, or if I would like to fill it in after the fact with the things that I actually did. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I do plan on filling it in after the fact, because I'm the type of person where if I write out this kind of, not even strict routine, but if I write out tasks to do at certain times and if I don't get them done, then I will get down on myself, and that's just not something that I need. So I like just filling it in after the fact and just getting an idea of how I'm spending my time, when I'm the most productive. If it's all over the place, that's okay too, and just having it to reflect back on during this time. So the tasks that I do want to get done will still just be right here, and then I can put them in the appropriate time. I don't know. Again, this could end up being redundant, but it's fun to try out, and I was able to bust out an old stamp that I've had for ages. It was gifted to me when I graduated teachers college, and I was able to use it. I'm not an expert stamper, so it's been fun to play around. But I did realize after I did these 4 pages that it doesn't have the day of the week, and I really like having the day of the week. I just went in with my Le Pen technical drawing pen and wrote it in. That's a 0.003, so it's really thin. I wanted the stamp to be the focus, but I did still want to have the actual date for reference. So I'm really happy with how March went. I was still in here every day, although some days I used it much less than other days, and that's okay. Like I said, I like the variety in here, and I basically really like knowing that it's functioning for me. I'm looking forward to trying out new setups for April and seeing how that goes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.